I know that some of you guys know Daphne, and maybe you don't know Daphne, but Daphne is a little fireball, kick ass. Oh, there's Christian. And she may seem super down to earth, but she is like bomb.com and so amazing. And she is here to help us get excited about our month of June. And I mean, I think that we would all like to know, like, just tips from you, Daphne, as far as how, like, we made everybody go through and, like, say what their goals were for June, and maybe some help on how we can execute those better. So maybe recruiting tips. I know that some of us are having some trouble with recruiting. We really just want to get everybody, like, fired up because we have an awesome team, and I think that everybody is on the same page that we want to really, kick ass, and we want to be an elite team. And any advice that you can give us as far as that goes, how to walk and talk like an elite would be awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me on. I'm super excited that you guys invited me. My feelings towards Christa and Suzee, I would do anything they asked me, pretty much. I mean, within reason, Christa, within reason. But I was super excited when she asked me to do this, and I didn't have to think twice about saying yes. And I know Christa has brought up in some of our other conversations the year of yes. If you guys haven't read it, you should. And so, I mean, not that that's played into it. I didn't even have to think about it. Yes was my answer as soon as she asked me. Now, the one thing I want to tell you guys right now is every single one of you should start thinking about the fact that June is going to be your elite month. Right? This team will be an elite. You need to figure out what number elite that will make you for Amber's team, and you need to start celebrating it starting day one. It should be part of every one of your mantras. When you wake up in the morning, you should be like, we are going to be an elite team. We are an elite team. This team will be elite. June 30th, elite. Like, that should be on all of your boards, okay? And so that obviously is like your overall big team goal, but each of you should have your own individual goals as well. So Christa and Suzee said that they had you guys kind of figure out and write down what your goals are. I don't know any of them, but what I would say to you is whatever your goal was, it better be up one more. Okay, so if you set your goal in your mind was going to be D1, then really your goal should be D2. Okay, if you said it was going to be D3, like Christa, I asked her before this started, I messaged her and said, what's your team goal for June? And she said D3, and I said, I'm pretty sure you mean elite. She's like, oh, it auto-corrected on me. So I fully believe in stretch goals. I fully believe that everything that you do, you should stretch yourself. You should always be thinking audaciously. You always should be talking like the next big thing is happening. And I'll tell you why. Subconscious mind plays a lot into that. And if your goal is super attainable, like if you were a D1 this month, D2 is very attainable. And I want that cat in my house right now. Right meow. Because here, one of my huge cats coming in a minute, and they're going to fall in love. Okay, so audacious goals are a huge thing for me, you guys. And I was starting to tell you, subconscious mind plays a funny thing. If your goal is super, super, super attainable, all right? So I know Paula is a platinum 2, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can't even play with that one. What's your, where are we at on the team builder one? I'm sorry, I'm calling you out on the team. Have you started moving up the ranks on team builder?
She's senior team leader.
Okay, senior team leader. So your goal, naturally, like the most natural thing to say would be my goal is going to be D1. But D1.
Yeah, but I want D2.
Okay, so then now it's D3. Okay. so what happens is, like, okay, so if you hit P3, P2, there's no P3. If you hit P2, I mean, because if there were a P3, you'd do it, I'm sure. But if you hit that, then you can hit D3. Okay, like you can do it. So what happens, and some of you probably heard me talk about this before because I learned this very early on, and I actually talked to a handful of people about this when we were in Utah. And I don't think anybody in this group was in there when I was talking about it. But a girl said to me, her goal was D2 we were actually talking about the promoter side, and her goal was platinum. but it was getting closer to we weren't even, what was early in the month, but she was looking at where her numbers were sitting, and she's like, you know what, I'm actually going to change my goal. It's going to be gold. If I hit gold, then I'll be happy. And then if I have some time left, I'll continue on and see if I can make platinum happen. Okay. So that's really not how you should make your brain work, right? You should shoot for the biggest thing, because what happens if you bring it down to a smaller goal and you hit that goal, your subconscious mind is like, I did it. I've arrived. Okay. And so then the pace of everything that happens from there is way slower. Now, if you make it that huge audacious goal. So Paula, if your goal is D3, because it's D3 now, you can put that on your mirror. So if it's D3, what she's going to need, they're going to need D3 for elite. So D3 is like legit. So if your goal is D3, you're going to run right past D2. Even though that initially was the goal that you wanted, you're going to run right past that. Even if you fall short of D3, you're still going to be so much further than you would have been if you set your goal for D2. It's just how the subconscious mind works. So setting really, really big goals for yourself is really, really super attainable. The next thing I would say is breaking it down by day. And I know you hear Jessie Lee. I know you hear Amber. I know you see in all of our groups. But you need to start today. Okay, so Paula, I'm going to keep picking on you for the whole call because you're top right, and that's where I look on my Zooms. But you're going to take that D3 and you're going to divide it by the 30 days they're going to be in June, and then you're going to monitor. Okay, whether you draw it on your mirror like one of those fancy like blood draw thermometer things to keep track of how far you are, whatever it is that works for you, but you're going to keep track. I do it every single month, and then if I start falling behind 4 days into the month, I reevaluate. You need to recalculate those numbers so you know what you need to be doing to stay on pace for what your goal is. Okay. Right? And whatever happens, but you are constantly monitoring, you're constantly aware, you're constantly reminding your subconscious mind of where you're headed. Okay. Everybody knows about the law of attraction. Everybody knows what happens. If you keep revisiting and say, hey, I'm headed for that. I'm going to be elite. I'm going to be D3. I'm going to be whatever you are going to be. And you keep revisiting it and you keep talking about it and you keep it fresh in mind, you're going to end up a hell of a lot closer than you were, if not on target, right? Like I never, ever thought that elite would happen as fast as it did. And guess what happened, you guys? I never thought that elite was going to happen as fast as it did. So that was my stretch goal. All right. It shouldn't have been my stretch goal. I should have had a much bigger goal because I hit elite 1. And then I went, and guess what? It's taken me some time like that. I was pushing that hill up the hill and I was had motion and it was continuously going. And as soon as I relaxed, that ball came back on me. And now it's taken me a long time to pick it back up to get the motion going again. So you got to make that goal super, super, super huge so that you just keep running. You just keep running. So you're going to break it down by day. You're going to revisit daily. If you're not doing daily mantras, if you are not like talking to yourself like you're a cuckoo bird in the morning and telling yourself all the awesome things that you are, then guess what? If you don't feel that about yourself, then you're going to portray that you're not that. And then it's going to start to bleed through into all the things that you are, or that you don't want to be, I should say. I'm sorry. Because I really feel like it comes down to getting that self-confidence. I'll tell you, this company is the first time I've ever felt the confidence that I feel here. And that is a direct correlation to the fact that I'm finding leadership here. Okay. So just knowing that I deserve it and knowing that I'm worthy of it and knowing that I can do this and knowing that, I don't know if y'all saw my post the other day, but it took me a minute to really wrap my head around the fact that my post was, shoot, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, Dita Von whatever. It said, you could be the ripest, juiciest peach in the whole wide world, and there are still going to be people that hate peaches. Okay? Not everyone's going to love you. I had somebody reach out to me this week and tell me that I need to learn how to love on my team. You guys, I spend all day, every day telling people how awesome they are. I called Amber. I'm like, dude, do I need to learn how to love on my team? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know where that came from. I was like, okay, whatever you say. But that's just, you can't fit what everybody's needs are. You just need to do the best and be the best you that you can be. Okay. So we've talked about big goals. We talked about how we're going to run like the Dickens. You guys need to know that you're going to be big. Okay. You guys are on this call for a reason. The leaders show up. The people that are meant to be on this call are on this call right now. Okay. So that needs to be recognized, that y'all have just set yourself into pace and place to be a leader. Right. So own that and don't let anybody else make you feel any different about it. I had some other things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, recruiting. You guys, for the first time in our lives, many of us came from another company, but in that other company, I feel like, I had a sense of desperation. I would take anybody that wanted to give me $99 to sign up on my team, right? And I feel like, like we have a place for anybody. Anybody can do this business, and I'm not going to say, but we are for the first time in our lives, in a position to build our very own dream teams. Okay, so you need to look at it like that. When you're talking to somebody and they don't fit what you want on your team, like, I don't know if you guys caught, Jessie Lee did a live, I think Saturday, and it was about like being able to differentiate between somebody that just really should be a customer or somebody that should be a social marketer. And, I made some mistakes already in this company. Like, I have some people that signed up on my team because I am a heavy recruiter and I do turn everything into a recruit. But they should have been customers. Now looking back on it, hindsight's 20/20, you get what you get. But I really feel like that is so important. Now, like, that was an eye-opener for me. Like, we really just need to have these conversations, because especially when we have both sides of this business that we can build, because I could be a lot further on the promoter side if I didn't have a bunch of dead legs, right? I've done a bunch of dead fish that just signed up. I got their kit volume, and then they disappear. So, but get back to the dream team. You guys, this is your opportunity to really like spend some time. It's work. Social media, Facebook is work. Like, if you're doing it right, it is freaking work, and it can take time. But if you sit down and these people that you're adding, we're adding 5 to 10 friends a day, correct? If we're adding them, we need to be choosy about who we're adding. Like, I don't just go in and friend and say, okay, I added my 5 for today. Like, you're opening these up and you're actually looking through their Facebook wall and saying, okay, there's not 1,000,010 F-bombs on their wall. They deserve to be here. Or they have some really good values and they have some really good things to bring to the table. I'm going to add them. Okay, so then after you add them and they accept you, it's your job to make sure you reach back out and say, hey, thanks for the ad. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. Thanks for the ad. Like, what's the weather like where you're at? Whatever it is, to start some conversation. And if it doesn't feel right, guys, if you remove them from your friends list because it just doesn't feel right and it's not a good fit, you didn't know them to begin with. Who cares? All right. But if it does, here is that prime opportunity to be like, you know what? I am building my very first dream team. I have started more conversations saying that line. All right. I'm building my very first dream team. Have you ever looked into doing something like this? Have you ever thought about doing something like this? My coin phrase with It Works was, have you ever thought about doing something like this? And I was a heavy recruiter at It Works. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? Every person says no. I mean, when you're in person, on Facebook, I'm finding people that are networkers, so you get more yeses there. But every answer is no. And my next response is, why not? All right. You guys just need to be reaching out to more people. You need to be willing to hear the word no. You need to be willing to have people tell you you're crazy. You need to be willing to have people tell you that what you're doing is a scam. Because I just laugh, right? Like, we know that this is the best damn scam I've ever been a part of. Okay. And I'm confident about that. And I'll be like, okay, thanks. I'm going to go ahead and take my 5-figure paycheck from this scam, and I'm just going to keep right on a trucking. I knew Christa would like that little trucking thing. So really, it comes down to just getting really super excited. You guys, I just feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my belly. I can feel it. That might be the paleo diet, but I can just feel that June is going to be amplified times 10. Like, this is the 10X month, you guys. And if you're not sitting there thinking, holy smokes, we're going to move some mountains this month, then what are you doing, right? I know that all of you are sitting there feeling like you can move some mountains, because why else would you get on this call? I mean, that's kind of point blank, right? So it's just a matter of putting everything that you know, knowledge. I feel like balance is a big thing. If you're not doing personal development, make sure you're digging into the personal development, even if it's only for 15 minutes in the morning. I feel like it's really important in the morning to hear that. If you guys haven't checked out, this is something that plays into my mantras. If you guys actually check this out, you'll learn a little bit about me. on Spotify, okay, if you have the app Spotify, if you download or find the station, it's called Fearless Motivation. It's like super freaking like hardcore. Like, I feel like it was made for bodybuilders. And actually some of it does talk about lifting. So I know that it does kind of go in that, but it's kind of chanty. It's like, you are a warrior. You are a lion. You are meant for more. Like, it is just like in your head, like telling you. And that's what I play every day when I get in the shower. Sometimes my husband comes home and he's like, what in the same hell is happening here? Because it's like, it's pretty brutal. But I'm going to tell you what, when I'm doing my hair and I'm getting ready in the morning, like I walk out and I'm about ready to freaking eat freaking the dogs because I'm a lion. You know what I'm saying? Like I could freaking crush the world. And so starting your day like that, even if the kids leave me in a really pissy mood in the morning, like as soon as I listen to that, I'm like, oh, you better watch out. Daphne's on the loose. So it's seriously just about getting your mind in the right place. Okay. If you don't feel like your mind's in the right place, then personal development is something that you need to spend a little time with, and especially leading into the month. I did take a tip from another elite, and you know, we all put these last like seven days of the month are always like, oh, we're just going to crush month end. I think I say that sentence, we're going to crush month end so much, but really, why are we not crushing the first 10 days of the month? So the momentum is there, and we just keep right on a freaking trucking, right? So that's my goal for this month with my team is just to I would like to get over half of my volume in the first 7 to 10 days, if not more than that. So that I know that because we all know that the end of the month brings higher volume. Like what would happen if you had 50,000 volume in the first 10 days of this month? Hello. That would be so super awesome. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, I feel like this is the perfect time to do some little incentives. It doesn't have to be huge. Like, who needs a Lumilight? Who needs a tripod? Who needs, doing a little bit of a team incentive leading into a month like this. I don't know if you guys listened to the Monday night team call, Justin Sarah. I was on the leader call where they announced the stuff about the M3 happening, and like they're really you guys don't. I mean, I don't even know about the things that are coming for this month. They're doing daily giveaways and daily incentives and things like that for customers and social marketers because this is the last month for the $20 off. There's going to be so much exciting things. Like there's no reason that our customer pods should not be we should be catching Paula. Really. That's my goal is to catch Paula. So watch out. I don't even care what happens on the team builder side. I'm coming for Paula.
She's eating her dogs, Paula. Look out.
Yes, I am a lion. You should watch out. I will eat you.
So speaking of our customer pods, so Christy, who is the phone number, not Christy, the other. There's so many Christy. I have like 5 Christys on my team.
And we have a lot of Ashley.
Which Christy are we talking about?
The one that's just the phone number.
Okay.
She has never done this before, ever. She's never done any network marketing at all. And she has lost about 22 pounds on M3, and her husband has lost about 50 since January.
Shoot, dang.
What's that?
I said, shoot, dang.
Right? So, but she's struggling with signing people. Everybody's telling her, like, it's too much money. So we talked about, like, doing the scripts and checking out Amber's video on selling M3s. But what tips do you or does anybody else on the call have to give her? I mean, like I said, keep in mind that she's brand new. She's never done anything like this before.
This poor girl, you just invited her onto a Zoom with me.
I will say I am perfectly fine. Just throw me right in the middle of it. I'll catch on eventually.
Now I feel bad that there's somebody new on here and I'm acting cool.
Well, this is the first time she's ever met me too.
I know. This is her first Zoom. She's super new.
Oh yeah, I need to add water. Yeah, it can be unplugged.
You're eating your dog.
Yeah, and you're eating your dog in front of her.
Yeah. She's gonna listen to Fearless Motivation and be like, this girl is a wackadoodle. Okay. So really though, as far as, so this is something that I learned in my previous experiences as well. Usually when you're getting a lot of the same response, it's because you have something in your subconscious that is worried that that's going to be the response you get. Okay. That sounds really, really funky, but if you're constantly getting people coming back saying that it's a lot of money, then you have a sense of like nervousness or a little bit of concern that it might be too much money to ask people for. Okay. Whether you can recognize that or not, somewhere in you there is like a hesitation about when somebody you're nervous that you don't want people to ask that question. How much does it cost? Okay. So when people ask me the money question, my first response, the first thing I'll say to you is I try to do everything for my business through Facebook Messenger. And when I respond about the money part of it, I typically try to do it through voice clip. Okay. If you haven't noticed, I can get very easily excited. And so it's all in the way that you respond, right? So when somebody says to me, oh, that sounds great. How much does it cost? I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's the best part. If it's for a one-time buy, it's $159. But if you do our 90-day pledge, you actually get $20 off, free shipping, and you get a free product. Well, now you don't get a free product, but you get $20 off and you get free shipping. So I leave it at that, right? And I didn't really, so I said $159 at the beginning, and I didn't say $139. I just told them they get $20 off if they do the pledge. Okay, so I just put it out there very confidently. But if you type it out, there's something in the human brain that looks at those numbers and they're like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Okay. So voice clip, I feel like is really important with money. And then I just also get really confident when somebody starts talking to me about the M3. I don't give a lot of information. I feel like part of the reason that we chase people away is we talk too much to them. When somebody asks me a question about the M3 or what I'm doing or what's this new business or what are these products or whatever it is, my response always is, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm so excited to share with you. We have a couple Facebook groups. Is it cool if I add you to them? Okay, so that's my response, like quote unquote, I could write it out for you. That's what I say every single time. All right, so notice I didn't say we have one group for product, one group for business. Would you mind if I add you to one or both? Because that's what I used to say. And most everybody would be like, sure, add me to your product group. All right, when I just say we have a couple Facebook groups and they'll explain everything, do you mind if I add you to them? Or is it cool if I add you to them? People say yes. First of all, nobody asks permission anymore to add to groups. I'm going to tell you what, you add me to a Facebook group without asking me permission, I leave the second that I get added. Mm-hmm. I've been added 3 times in a row to the same group. I don't understand why somebody doesn't realize that I'm removing myself, right? So when you ask permission, though, people are like, holy smokes, she just asked my permission. Yeah, sure, you can add me. Okay, so what I did one of 2 things there. The best part is because I didn't tell them one was product and one was business, I didn't make the decision for them what they were going to be interested in, because this business is so different. I'm kind of getting off on a tangent, you guys, but this business, I feel this company is so different from other network marketing companies that they don't understand until you put them into the Social Retail Live and tag them in like the pinned post or the how to make 11K in 90 days or why Modera is different from MLM or whatever video. I like to pick a video and tag them in it. They'll at least go watch it and they might be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that it would be that simple. I didn't realize I could do that, right? Or they're just going to go look at the simple, clean results. And if they want to remove themselves from either group, there's no harm, no foul there either, okay? So that's the first thing that I do. Okay, then once they come back to me and they ask me a question like, oh yeah, so the M3 looks pretty awesome. How do I get started or how much does it cost? I automatically send them the graphic that says, this is the information I need from you. Okay? So I send that to them before I answer any questions. And then I write, this is all I need from you to get started. And then when they're like, well, how much does it cost? Then I voice clip. And I'm like, great question. Super excited. This blah, blah, blah. I don't say I'm super excited because if you guys ever watch my live videos, I probably say I'm so excited 117 times in each live video because I'm always excited. But, you like, that's the great part of this. It really is affordable. It breaks down. You can break it down by the day, you know, depending upon what package they're doing. But I always play up, hey, for a one-time purchase, you get it for $159. But if you buy it on our pledge, you get hooked up with $20 off. And if you finish our pledge, now you're going to get the sweet package at the end of 90 days. Okay, so you just kind of played off the money part of it. They're not hearing like or seeing. That's all they do. If you write a paragraph out that has the dollar figure in there, they don't even read your paragraph. Dollar figure, and they're like, oh my God, that's my cell phone bill. You know what I mean? So if that's the thing, I can always, I'll tell you one thing I do for my team. And actually I don't do it as much here because I am not as wordy here as I was with It Works. But if somebody had somebody to reach out to, like if you were like, man, I really want this person on my team and I don't know how to reach out to them, I would have them tell me 5 facts about the person, or like they're a single mom, they work here, they have 3 kids, they have a broken down car, they live paycheck to paycheck, whatever. They would tell me a little bit about the person, and then I would write how I would approach that person, and then people were copying and pasting it. I will say I don't toot my horn very much about anything except for I am super easily excited and I'm a good writer. I was blessed with the way with words. So that's something that I do too. So if you guys ever are needing help with scripting or writing something or responding to something, you can always reach out. I will always help anybody with that.
As long as she's not eating our dog at that moment.
Yeah. Dude, they'll be gone tomorrow. Just kidding. Bosley's going nowhere, right, Bobos?
So what else do you guys have? What other questions?
They're all busy planning out how they're going to get to their next goal because I just made them up their goal up one more.
I know.
Yeah. I really, you guys, like if you're not, I can't stress enough audacious goals, and just really, really pushing. It's so far. Like I was sitting on we have a 6-foot beanbag. We have one of those big like Nest beanbag things, and I was sitting on it just like an hour ago when I was texting Christa saying, "What do you want me to talk about?" And I had a couple of messages come in from a couple of people on my team, and obviously our team is E1, and all of a sudden it dawned on me the goals that are coming in from all the people on my team. Like, this is something else to think about, really. Obviously the next goal for me would be E2. Like the next sensible thing would be E2. If my goal is E2, then I'm holding my team back. Okay, so I have to go E3 for this one to go E2 and this one to go E1 and this one to go E1. Like I have to continue on. And that was something when I hit E1 and kind of like let off the pedal for that little while. I got to talking to in Utah, I'll tell you, by somebody that was like, because I was like, oh, I don't know if I deserve this. Like I don't know how to handle this. I was really struggling, you guys. I'll be very honest. Like I had to wrap my head around the fact that this was something I was capable of and that I could handle everything that came with it. And they're like, what are you doing? You have a team that is killing it. And if you don't wrap your head around this really quick, you're going to cut your team short. So take yourself off the table. And then like Christa and Suzee, doesn't matter what they hit this month, but they're going to make damn sure that Paula hits D3. Okay. They're going to make sure that every one of you hits those stretch goals. That's going to be their focus this month. And then if you are sitting there with team underneath you, what are their stretch goals? And I want you, if your team isn't on here, I want you to reach out to them and be like, okay, well, you told me your goal was senior team leader, but guess what? Now it's D1. Daphne said. Just kidding. They're going to be like, who the hell's Daphne? But really, like, and then it's just a matter of, oh, I know one thing I want to talk about. I had a brain fart for a minute. When I was talking about breaking it down by day, right? I was talking about like knowing what you have to do each day. John Mellon talked to us when we went to Orlando in February, and I've talked to my team about this all the time since then. Every time I'm with them, I talk about it, and that is knowing your ratio. Not a lot of people know it. And I think it's really, really incredibly important to figure out, okay? So in an average day, how many people do you have to talk to in that day to get a yes? Okay. And I feel like this isn't going to be something that maybe is going to directly, well, it'll affect the end of your June, because it takes a couple weeks to kind of figure out that average. Like, because tomorrow you could talk the first person you talk to, yes, and then that would make your ratio 1-to-1. But that's not an average. That's not like legit. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, like kind of keep track of how many people you talk to in a day and how many people does it take for you to get a yes. Okay. And then you're going to average that out, and then you're going to have a ratio. And then you're going to be able to wake up in the morning and be like, how fast can I talk to my 7 people? Okay. You're going to know, okay, so if I talk to 14 people, if your ratio is 7-to-1, if I talk to 14 people today, I should know that I'm going to have 2 yeses. How fast can I talk to 14 people? All right. So then as you know what your daily goal is, if you and your team know your ratios, you can kind of configure how many people your team collectively needs to speak to, or that they need to be working with or going after or looking for in order to hit the daily goal every single day, to hit the big stretch goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So not everybody's going to follow through and do that for you, but I think it's really important as a leader to know what your ratio is. And it changes. Like my ratio for this month has not been as good, right? It has not been a normal Daphne ratio. I'll tell you that for sure. But truly, is the problem my ratio, or did I not talk to enough people? So, I mean, that's just some food for thought as far as that stuff goes, because, you know, when we're making sure that we are, I know I can tell you in all honesty that I didn't talk to enough people this month. You know what I mean? I don't know, I reveled in the glory of Utah. That was freaking amazing. And then I had to sleep for 2 days because too many people talked to me at one time. And I just had to like just detach myself from the world. And it took me a minute to like get my feet back on the ground. Life happens, right? That's why we do this business, is so that when life happens, it's still there. Like I couldn't have taken 2 days off after a work trip from a real job, right? So, besides the fact that I am not employable and I do not deal well with authority, so I'll never have a real job ever again. Amen, sister. Okay, you guys, so I've kept you guys for a really long time. I'm really sorry. But you guys, I will tell you, like, I have done a few of these Zooms with a couple other teams before. They were all shooting for elite. So when she told me D3, I'm like, yeah, nope. This is elite. This is your elite month. So buckle up your boots, because we got work to do. It's going to be a really exciting month, and don't cut yourself short. That's it. Just go for what you want.
Does anybody else have anything else? Do not get off this Zoom and then text me 1,000 questions, because I'm going to kill you.
She's
Murder. You're eating dogs. She's murdering the team.
I know, these people are crazy.
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 I know Paula has something. Look at her face.
Come on, Paula. What you know?
Paula's like, Daphne is as crazy as I thought.
I wrote down almost everything she said.
Me too.
Well, she had to, because she's going D3 and now I'm watching.
Yeah. Daphne, I want to know, like, what is like a normal day for you? Like, what are some things that you consistently do every day that you think are like outstanding to help your business?
Okay, so I don't know if did you guys do, this is totally off topic, but did you guys do the Christa Sutton thing?
Christa Sutton is our business coach already.
Oh, she is. Okay. Well, I did her like 90-day thing that Amber had us doing or whatever. And so that was like shake up Daphne's world, because I am not like, it's very hard for me to answer this question actually, because I love to collect planners, but I hate to fill them out. Okay. So like, I don't like being constricted. Like if somebody's like, hey, can you meet me for lunch this week? I'll be like, maybe. I'll call you 10 minutes before. Yeah. Like I don't like to be buckled down.
I'm not
Okay,
me and you.
What's that?
Yeah, I know.
Oh. So it's very hard for me to say like I'm super structured because I'm not. I'm a very not structured person. But I do my personal development every single morning. I feel like that is such a crucial part. If you're not growing, your business won't grow, your marriage won't grow, your relationship won't grow, your parenting won't grow. I just feel like, if I had known how important personal development was when I was 18 years old, I know that I would be a completely different person. But I just have invested so much time into it now as an adult that, I think that's huge. All right. But I don't want, I have people that personal develop too much on my team too. They can spend 8 hours at a time personal developing, and then their business not going anywhere because they're just reading book after book after book. Like, I'm not asking you to do that. I would say half hour a day or an hour a day if you really like to read. If you like audio, I got an Alexa. You guys. If you have not got an Alexa, you need to get one because she is like my best friend during the day. She talks back and she makes my grocery list for me and she plays whatever music I want. She plays podcasts. Grant Cardone comes out of her. It's freaking incredible. I'm not even kidding. So she connects with my Audible. She connects with my Spotify. She connects with everything, which is so cool. So sometimes when, real life things have to happen, I have to sweep floors. That doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I listen to personal development. So I use that to fill in cracks in my day. All right. That was a tangent. Sorry. I feel like here's your balance, right? A third of your time should be growing new. So that would be recruiting, sending out messages, looking for new customers. A third of your time should be spent growing your team. So growing new, growing your team, and a third of your time should be spent growing you. Okay? So if you're going to structure yourself, that's how you should break it down. I am blessed to be able to work from home, and in a week, my kids are going to be home for the summer. And in the summertime, things are a little bit different than the school year because I usually work from the time the kids leave to the time they get home from sports in the evening. So there is a little more structure there. When they're home for the summer, I actually have to schedule okay, these 2 hours before they get up in the morning, I have to get this work done. And so then I have to break that down. I do my 5 to 10 friend requests a day. Actually, I probably do more than that. I'll do 5 to 10 in the morning. And then if I'm waiting in a parking lot for a kid to come from practice, I'll start looking at people's friends. And this is something that I learned about friend requests, you guys. I don't friend request anybody that comes up in people you may know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, so stay away from that. What I do is I go into my personal friends and I'll pick somebody that either I don't ever want to work with or that has told me no, never, not a chance ever that I will ever have anything to do with what you do. And I go into their friends and then I pick a friend or somebody that I don't know that I have either 2 or less mutual friends with. I make sure that if they do have mutual friends that they do not overlap with any of my Modere people. And then I will go into their friends maybe even, and I'll pick somebody. And I'll start, that's where the Facebook work starts. I'll start looking at pages, all right? I've just removed myself so far from my existing circle that I'm going to start expanding that way, okay? So I'll start friend requesting that way. Do people respond to me and be like, how do I know you? Sometimes I ignore them. Sometimes I'll be like, no, but you look so familiar. I just thought I'd reach out.
I do the same thing.
I mean, whatever, you guys. And if they don't friend request you or your feelings hurt, they shouldn't be, because if you offered them a piece of gum and they said no, would you be? No. So move on, right? But that's how I get my friends to be diverse. That's how I do that. And so if I have free time, if I have 5 to 10 in the morning and that I requested and only 3 or 4 friends accepted me back, then I still have more to add. So I'll do that throughout the day. I like to work on my ratio. So I like to send messages, whether that's follow-up. I have a master. I bought for everyone on my team that D2s and above from me get the High Achievers Playbook, and it has a master prospecting list in it. And so I have that, and I keep that in my purse. and I'll just kind of keep tabs. I kind of use it a little bit differently than what it's meant to be used, but I kind of keep tabs of how often I've reached out to them. So I do a lot of follow-up. I will say that the one thing about me, and that's probably why I was a recruiter and it works, is if you guys don't know, that it takes people 5 to 7 times hearing something before it's a good idea. It has to become their idea sometimes, right? So persistency pays off. If somebody tells you no, it really does. I know you've heard this and it sounds cliche, but no really does mean not right now. So you should be following up with those people. You should be coming back to them and saying, you know what, is timing better? Hey, this is the special going on. Every single person you've ever talked to since the day you started with Modere should hear about the fact that June is the last month that you can get $20 off the M3. Every single person. I mean, even if they asked you about BioCell. Okay? Because you don't know and then if they say no, thank you, say, all right, well, if you know anybody that you think might be interested, would you please send them my way? All right. If you're on that note, if you're not coaching your existing customers right now in the referral program, you're doing yourself a disservice. You could talk to one person, they can recruit 5. You got 5 people, you just went bronze and you talked to one person. So, I mean, really coaching, Paul is probably pretty good at it. Do you get very many referrals, Paula?
Yeah.
The customer referral program here, you guys, Bart.
I tell all my customers about the customer referral program.
Yeah. See, and I feel like not enough people are doing that because, dude, that's customer pod points that you don't got to work for.
Yep.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. I don't know. I went all over the place with that. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of a scatterbrain. I don't know if you knew that about me.
I'm the same way. They're used to it.
That's true.
What else you guys got? Anything?
Dude, I'm gonna come meet. Are all you guys local to Christa and Suzee?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna come meet you this summer.
Yay!
Like
I
maybe
can't
tomorrow.
wait. He's one of my all-time favorite humans.
Yeah.
We talked through like the Dynasty Leaders chat, but then we met for the first time in Orlando when we both won when we all 3 won the first Jessie Lee trip, and she come running at me like she's, I'm 6 foot tall, she's 2 foot tall, and she comes running at my ankles, and I'm like, oh!
I was like, I didn't think she was that little.
Practically like jumped into my arms, and I carried her off into the sunset. We've been friends ever since.
Yeah, it's true. That is really how it happened. Yeah. It was beautiful.
Seriously though, it's because I have such a big personality. Nobody ever thinks that I'm a midget.
No, I didn't. I'm a very tall person.
I have a
I'm like, where?
Yeah, I'm good. I just have a lot of attitude in a small little package. It's fine. Yeah, every one of you got out of the car and was like, where's the rest of you?
Did you bring Daphne with you, or did you leave her home?
So anyway, about me being short. Yes, you'll all hear the midget jokes, the shrimp jokes, or the onion jokes.
I'll tell the onion joke.
I forgot how she was introduced on stage. How did that go?
She said, Daphne's kind of like an onion. Like you have to peel her. No, rather, Daphne's a shrimp.
You have to peel back the layers. So,
yeah, but apparently I'm a peel and eat shrimp.
That was not great.
I pretty much thought that happened.
Okay. Well, you guys, thank you so much for having me on. This was super fun, and I'm super honored to have a chance to talk with you guys, and I hope that you got some new ideas or some fired up. I hope your goals grew a little bit. I hope that you run. I'll be watching. I'll be messaging Christa left and right to find out how you all are doing on your stretch goals.
I'm excited for them because I know that they're going to do amazing.
Christian, what's your stretch goal?
D2, Platinum 2.
Yeah. Okay, so So
gonna
that's
happen.
what we have a D2. Are you and Paula just sidelines?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 75,000 of the elite team right there. I mean, for real.
Yep, Christy's gonna be my D1.
Yes.
Yeah, she is.
Dude. See, it all starts to come together. So for real though, you guys, like use these first 7 days. I know that where we came from, for those of us that came from another company, it was common to like work our asses off the last few days of the month and then snooze for a couple days because it was like, oh, it was hard. Okay, we have to do the exact opposite. Like go to bed tonight and get a good night's sleep and wake up and crush it. Get after it as soon as you wake up and you thank God that you woke up today and you put your feet on the ground and thank God that your feet hit the ground, run. Run. Don't waste a single minute. Make tomorrow the biggest day of the month if you can. All right. You probably have been doing what I find is, especially with this like free gift going away, like you've probably been doing a ton of follow-up. You've probably been sending a ton of messages. You may or may not have been getting a lot of response, but all of those messages you sent in the past few days are going to pay off in the next week. Okay. That's what happens is people need to marinate on it and they need to think for a minute and then all of a sudden it becomes a good idea. And so in the next couple of days, that's going to happen. So don't stop the messaging that you've started these past few days. Continue on for the next 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, 10 days, 30 days, messaging every day like it's the last day of the month. And I promise you that you're going to run past your stretch goals.
Thank you, Daphne.
Yes,
We
thank you
appreciate
so
you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Love you
you.
guys. Good
Love
luck.
you.
I'll be watching. Have a good June. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.